Jack Miller stood at the viewing port of the alien ship and watched Earth shrink in the distance. The blue planet looked peaceful from space, nothing like the dangerous world he knew it to be. He took a deep breath of the ship's artificial air. It smelled clean, almost too clean. No hint of pollen, exhaust, or cooking food. He already missed those smells. "Human Miller, your presence is requested in Medical Bay for arrival screening," announced the ship's computer. Jack sighed and turned away from the view. "On my way," he said. The corridors of the Galactic Confederation vessel Distant Horizon were built to accommodate many different alien species. Some areas were tall enough for the 7-foot Vordaxians, while others had smaller passages for the child-sized Kelbians. Jack moved carefully, still getting used to the slightly lower gravity that made him feel bouncy with each step. He had been selected for this human-alien exchange program because of his calm nature. 20 years as a paramedic in rural Montana had taught him to stay cool in any crisis. He had pulled people from burning cars, treated hikers mauled by bears, and delivered babies during blizzards. Nothing much surprised Jack anymore. The medical bay doors slid open as he approached. Inside, 4 aliens worked at different stations. Jack recognized most of their species from his training. The ship had a crew of 23 aliens from 7 different worlds. "Ah, Human Miller, please enter and sit on the examination platform," said a blue-skinned alien with 4 arms and large compound eyes like a dragonfly. This was Dr. Zixvora, the ship's chief medical officer and a member of the highly respected Thraxi species. The doctor's voice came from a small translator device attached to what Jack guessed was a shoulder. "Just Jack is fine," he said, sitting on the raised platform. It adjusted to his height automatically. "Very well, just Jack," said Dr. Zixvora. "No, I meant ... double quotes." Jack smiled. "In human culture, we often prefer to use our first names only among friends. Jack is my first name, Miller is my family name." The doctor's compound eyes blinked in sequence. Jack had learned this indicated confusion or surprise. "I see, this is noted in your file, but I failed to remember. My apologies. ... Jack?" "No problem," Jack said. Dr. Zixvora picked up a handheld scanner with one blue hand while another hand tapped notes into a datapad. The doctor's other 2 hands arranged medical instruments on a nearby tray. "This is fascinating," said the doctor. "I have not had the opportunity to examine a human before. Your species joined the Confederation only 3 years ago, and you are the first human assigned to our vessel." The scanner hummed as it moved over Jack's body. "Your internal structure is quite different from Thraxi anatomy." "You have only 1 heart?" the doctor asked. "Just the one," Jack confirmed. "It does the job. Remarkable. And such dense bone structure. You evolved on a high-gravity world, did you not?" "Earth's gravity is higher than standard Confederation ships, yes," Jack said. "But not by much. I'm adjusting fine." The scanner beeped when it passed over Jack's left arm. Dr. Zixvora examined the readout with all 4 eyes focused intently. "You have a healed fracture in your radius bone, and evidence of multiple microfractures in your hand bones." Jack nodded. "Broke my arm when I was 12, falling from a tree. The hand injuries are from my work as a paramedic. Sometimes you have to break a window or move debris." The doctor's head tilted. "You manually move debris, without mechanical assistance?" "Sometimes there's no time to wait for equipment," Jack explained. "If someone's trapped, you do what you need to do." Dr. Zixvora made a clicking sound that the translator didn't convert. Jack guessed it might be the Thraxi version of amazement. Or disbelief. The scanner moved to Jack's lungs, and the doctor became very still. "Your respiratory system shows scarring consistent with exposure to harmful substances. You have inhaled smoke and toxic particles in the past?" "Forest fires," Jack said. "Montana has big forests, and they burn sometimes. Part of my job was helping evacuate people and treat smoke inhalation." "You entered burning areas? Voluntarily?" All 4 of the doctor's hands paused their work. "Someone has to," Jack said with a shrug. The medical exam continued for another hour. Dr. Zixvora seemed increasingly fascinated by Jack's medical history, which included a broken leg from a skiing accident, several instances of food poisoning, exposure to various viruses and bacteria, minor chemical burns from a factory accident, frostbite on 2 toes during a winter rescue operation. By the end, the blue-skinned alien was looking at Jack with what might have been respect or possibly concern. "Your species appears remarkably resilient," Dr. Zixvora said finally. "Most of these incidents would severely incapacitate a Thraxi. Yet you describe them as minor or just part of the job," Jack smiled. "Humans bounce back pretty well. It's one of our better qualities." "Indeed. I believe I am beginning to understand why the Confederation Council was so interested in bringing humans into our alliance. Your physical adaptability could be quite valuable." The doctor's fingers tapped rapidly on the data pad. "I am scheduling you for weekly checkups. I wish to monitor how your system adapts to life aboard our vessel. The different atmosphere, food, and gravity may affect you in ways we cannot predict." "Whatever you think is best, Doc," Jack said easily. "Your cardiovascular system shows remarkable efficiency," Dr. Zixvora noted, reviewing the scan results again. "Though your immune response to the ship's standard atmosphere continues to produce elevated histamine levels." Jack sniffed. His nose had been slightly runny since boarding. "Just seasonal allergies. Had them all my life?" The doctor's compound eyes blinked in sequence again, that gesture of confusion. "But we've filtered all known human allergens from your quarters. Body finds a way to complain anyway," Jack said with a smile. "Nothing to worry about." Dr. Zixvora made another untranslated clicking sound. "You humans have a curious attitude toward your own physical discomfort." "We adapt," Jack said simply. After the exam, Jack was assigned quarters near the ship's central hub. The room adjusted its temperature and lighting to Earth-normal settings as he entered. A small food synthesizer had been programmed with human recipes, though Jack had been warned they might taste slightly different from what he was used to. He sat on the edge of the bed, feeling the gentle hum of the ship's engines. Tomorrow, he would begin his official duties as human liaison and cultural ambassador. For now, he was just tired from the medical exam and the long journey from Earth. Jack looked at the small shelf where he had placed his few personal items. A photo of the Montana mountains, a smooth river stone for luck, and a small metal badge from his paramedic days. "Well," he said to himself, "this should be interesting." He didn't know yet just how interesting things would get, or that his ordinary human resilience would soon become the talk of the entire Galactic Confederation. 2 months passed quickly aboard the distant horizon. Jack Miller settled into his role as the human liaison and became a familiar sight in the ship's corridors. Most of the alien crew had moved past their initial curiosity about the human in their midst, though some still watched him with interest. When they thought he wasn't looking, Jack had learned much about the different species and their customs. He now knew not to show his teeth when smiling at the Kelbians, as they saw it as a threat. He remembered to bow slightly when passing Vordaxian elders. He even mastered the proper greeting clicks when speaking with the ship's Thraxi engineers. Dr. Zixvora continued the weekly checkups, documenting Jack's adaptation to life on the ship. The blue-skinned alien doctor had developed what Jack thought might be a friendship with him, or at least a professional interest that went beyond mere scientific curiosity. "Your body has adjusted well to our food synthesizer," Dr. Zixvora noted during one checkup. "Though I notice you still supplement with those preserved food packets from Earth," Jack smiled. "The synthesizer tries its best, but it can't quite get coffee right." "Or chocolate." "Ah, yes, the stimulant and the sweet substance. Both contain compounds that would be mildly toxic to many Confederation species." "Really?" Jack looked at the chocolate bar in his hand with surprise. "This stuff is toxic to you?" "The theobromine compound would cause severe digestive distress in a Thraxi," the doctor confirmed, "and potentially heart failure in a Kelbian." Jack carefully wrapped the remaining chocolate and put it away. "I'll be more careful about sharing my snacks." The doctor made that now familiar clicking sound that Jack had learned indicated amusement, a wise precaution. though I admit to some curiosity about these substances that humans find so pleasurable. Maybe someday we'll find something we both can enjoy, Jack said. Their conversation was interrupted by the ship's communication system. Senior Medical Officer and Human Liaison requested on the bridge. Mission briefing in 10 minutes. Jack raised his eyebrows. That's new. I haven't been called for a mission briefing before. Dr. Zixvora's four hands quickly organized the medical equipment. The captain must have a task suited to your capabilities. This is a positive development. They made their way to the bridge together. The ship's command center was a large, circular room with workstations for different crew functions. Captain Rel, a tall Vordaxian with gray skin and four eyes arranged vertically on his face, stood at the center platform. Dr. Human Miller, thank you for coming promptly, the captain said. His translator gave his voice a deep rumbling. Quality? Jack, please, Jack reminded him gently. Yes, of course, Jack? The captain seemed uncomfortable with the informality but continued. We have received a distress signal from Proxima Station. They are experiencing technical difficulties with their atmospheric regulation systems and have requested assistance. Images appeared on the main screen showing a space station orbiting a large gas giant planet. The station had a central hub with 3 extending arms, each ending in a spherical module. Proxima Station serves as a research facility for studying the planet's unique atmospheric composition, explained the captain. The chemicals harvested there are vital for several medical treatments. However, their message indicates damage from a micrometeorite shower 3 days ago. Are there injuries? Dr. Zixvora asked. No casualties reported, but they need technical assistance to repair their systems, the captain replied. We are the closest Confederation vessel. What do you need from me? Jack asked. I'm not an engineer. Captain Rel turned all 4 eyes toward Jack. The station's atmosphere contains a mixture designed for multiple non-human species. However, some of the repairs must be done in sections where the atmosphere may be unstable. Your human physiology might be better suited to work in these conditions than some of our crew. Jack nodded slowly. You want me to help with the repairs? Because humans might handle the bad air better? Precisely, said the captain. Dr. Zixvora's reports on human resilience suggest you could function effectively in conditions that would incapacitate others. Of course, you will have a protective suit, but if there is a breach, I understand, Jack said. I'm happy to help. The captain seemed relieved. Excellent. We will arrive at Proxima Station in 6 hours. The repair team will include you, Dr. Zixvora, 2 Kelbian engineers, and Krell, our security officer. After the briefing, Jack returned to his quarters to prepare. He reviewed the information about Proxima Station on his datapad. The station had been built 30 years ago as a joint project between 3 Confederation species. Its location allowed for the study and harvest of rare compounds from the gas giant's upper atmosphere. Jack had never done a spacewalk before. Not even during his training on Earth. The idea made him a little nervous, but he wasn't about to show fear in front of the alien crew who were counting on him. 6 hours later, the distant horizon docked with Proxima Station. Jack joined the repair team in the equipment room, where they were fitted with protective suits. His was specially designed for human physiology, with extra oxygen reserves and reinforced joints to account for human strength. Remember, Jack, Dr. Zixvora said as they prepared to enter the station, the atmosphere inside is not immediately lethal to humans, but extended exposure could cause respiratory distress. Keep your suit sealed at all times. Jack nodded, checking his suit's seals one final time. Got it, Doc. No breathing the local air. The team entered the station through the main airlock. They were greeted by the station's chief researcher, a Thraxi named Dr. Venlox. The blue-skinned alien looked tired, with drooping eye stalks and sluggish movements of their 4 arms. Thank you for responding so quickly, Dr. Venlox said. The damage is more extensive than we initially reported. The micrometeorite penetrated our outer hull and damaged critical atmospheric regulation components. The station's interior lighting flickered occasionally, and Jack could hear the uneven rhythm of machinery that didn't sound healthy to his ears. The Kelbian engineers, Zik and Pala, analyzed the station's systems through their portable devices. They were small aliens barely reaching Jack's waist, with 6 limbs and large, dome-shaped heads. "Primary regulator is failing," Zik reported in a high-pitched voice. "We need to replace it before the backup system is overwhelmed." "The damaged components are in the eastern arm, Section 3, Dr. Venlox explained, but the atmospheric mix there has been compromised. It contains higher levels of viridian gas than is safe." Dr. Zixvora's compound eyes turned to Jack. "Viridian gas is highly toxic to most species, including humans. Your suit should protect you, but we must be cautious." The team made their way through the station's curving corridors. Jack noticed the alien crew moving with increasing care as they approached the damaged section. Krell, the Vordaxian security officer, walked slightly ahead, scanning for any additional damage or dangers. When they reached the access point to Section 3, Dr. Venlox operated the control panel. "I can only open this briefly. The repair team must move quickly to minimize atmosphere exchange." The Kelbian engineers prepared their tools while Dr. Zixvora gave Jack a final warning. "If your suit integrity is compromised in any way, you must return to this access point immediately. Understood?" Jack nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. "Understood, Doc. Let's do this." The door slid open, and the repair team entered the damaged section. Jack could see the problem immediately. A panel near the ceiling had been pierced by something small but moving at incredible speed. The surrounding equipment was damaged, with sparking wires and leaking pipes. The Kelbians moved with surprising speed for their size, climbing the wall fixtures to reach the damaged regulator. Jack assisted by holding tools and passing components as needed. Everything was going according to plan. Until something went wrong. A loud cracking sound echoed through Section 3 of Proxima Station. Jack looked up to see a new crack forming in the ceiling panel above them. The damage from the micrometeorite was worse than they had thought. "Structural integrity failing," shouted Krell, the security officer. "We must evacuate now." The Kelbian engineers scrambled to gather their tools. They were almost finished with the repairs, but not quite. "We need 5 more minutes," said Zik, the senior engineer. "The regulator isn't properly calibrated yet. We may not have 5 minutes." Krell warned as another creaking sound came from the damaged panel. Jack made a quick decision. "You all go? I'll help Zik finish the calibration and follow right after. Double quotes. Dr. Zixvora's compound eyes widened. "Jack, that's too dangerous. If that panel fails, then we'll all be in trouble if the atmospheric system isn't fixed," Jack finished. "I've got the most protective suit. It makes sense." Before anyone could argue further, the ceiling panel groaned loudly. A piece broke free and fell toward them. Jack pushed Dr. Zixvora out of the way just in time. The metal piece crashed to the floor where the doctor had been standing. "Go," Jack ordered. "We'll be right behind you." The team reluctantly retreated to the access point while Jack stayed with Zik. The small Kelbian worked frantically, adjusting the new regulator with all 6 limbs moving in perfect coordination. "Almost there," Zik said. "Just need to—" Another crack appeared in the ceiling, and this time a small but steady stream of gas began leaking into the room. Jack's suit sensors immediately began flashing warnings on his helmet display. "Viridian gas detected. Suit integrity at risk." "Hurry," Jack told Zik, trying to keep his voice calm. The Kelbian's hands flew over the controls. "Done. System restarting?" They turned to leave just as a larger section of the ceiling gave way. Jack instinctively threw himself over the much smaller Kelbian, shielding Zik with his body. Something sharp struck Jack's suit, tearing through the material on his upper arm. Warning alarms blared in his helmet. "Containment breach. Human toxin detected." Jack felt the station's atmosphere seeping into his suit. It had a strange smell, like burned metal and rotten eggs. His eyes watered. Immediately. "Jack, your suit!" Zik cried out, his large eyes filled with horror. "Let's go," Jack said, ignoring the warnings. He picked up the small alien with his good arm and made for the exit. The atmospheric regulator hummed to life behind them, beginning to clean the Air, but it would take time. Dr. Zixvora's voice came through the cum system, tight with urgency. Jack, the atmospheric mixture contains viridian gas. It's lethal to humans even in small doses. You must return to the airlock immediately. Jack checked the tear in his suit and the readings on his wrist display. Yeah, I see it. Heading back. Now, he carried Zik through the access point where the others waited. As soon as the door sealed behind them, Dr. Zixvora rushed forward. Put him down and remove your helmet. We need to begin treatment immediately. Jack carefully set Zik down, noticing the small alien was shaking with fear. Then he removed his helmet, taking a deep breath of the cleaner air in this section. The regulator is working, Jack reported. Atmosphere should be stabilizing in Section 3 now. Never mind that, Dr. Zixvora said sharply. All four of the doctor's hands were busy, scanning Jack and preparing some kind of injection. Your blood will show viridian contamination. We need to administer the antidote before it reaches your vital organs. Jack felt a little lightheaded, but otherwise fine. I don't feel that bad, Doc. Maybe just a little dizzy. Dr. Zixvora stopped, mid-motion, staring at the scanner readings with disbelief. This can't be right. The doctor adjusted the scanner and tried again. Your blood shows 17 parts per million of viridian compound. How are you even conscious? The alien doctor demanded, mandibles clicking in agitation. You should be experiencing total respiratory failure, Jack shrugged. Honestly, I feel a bit dizzy, like I had a couple beers, but that's about it. Impossible, Dr. Zixvora whispered. The toxicity threshold for all known carbon-based life forms is 5 parts per million, huh? Jack said. Maybe it's because of that chemical plant accident back home last year. Leaked something similar into our water supply. Whole town was drinking. If for a week before anyone noticed. The aliens all stared at him. Even Krell, who had remained stoic throughout the mission, looked shocked. Your town consumed contaminated water. For a week? Dr. Venlox asked slowly. Yeah, it tasted a little funny, but nobody thought much of it, Jack explained. When they finally figured it out, we all had to get some treatments. Made the national news for a day or two. The doctor administered the antidote anyway, a blue liquid injected into Jack's arm. Then Dr. Zixvora insisted on a full examination in the station's medical bay, the Calbian. Engineers went to check on the repaired regulator while Krell stood guard outside the medical bay. Dr. Venlox assisted Dr. Zixvora with the examination. Jack sat patiently on the examination table as the two blue-skinned aliens scanned him repeatedly, took blood samples, and discussed the results in their clicking language. Too fast for the translators to keep up. Finally, Dr. Zixvora turned to Jack. Your liver is processing the viridian compound at an astonishing rate. The antidote is helping, but your body was already breaking down the toxin naturally. Good news, right? Jack asked. It's unprecedented, Dr. Venlox said. We have studied many species, but none with this particular ability. I told you humans are pretty tough, Jack said with a smile. Dr. Zixvora's compound eyes focused intently on Jack. This goes beyond tough, Jack. The viridian compound kills most species within minutes of exposure. Even with protective suits and immediate treatment, we've lost researchers to smaller exposures than what you just experienced. For the first time, Jack realized how serious the situation had been. I had no idea. I'm sorry if I scared everyone. You saved Zik's life, Dr. Venlox said, and helped repair our critical systems. We are grateful. The examination continued for another hour. By the end, Jack's blood showed almost no trace of the toxic compound. The doctors were amazed at his recovery rate. When they finally returned to the distant horizon, Captain Rel was waiting for them at the airlock. The tall Vordaxian had been briefed on what happened. Human Jack, the captain said formally. I understand you risked your life to save one of the repair team and complete the mission. Anyone would have done the same, Jack said, uncomfortable with the attention. No, the captain replied firmly, not anyone. Most would have died. He extended a long gray hand. On behalf of the Confederation, I thank you. Jack shook the captain's hand, noticing that the other crew members were watching him differently. Now, there was a new respect in their eyes, but also something else. Curiosity, wonder, maybe even a touch of fear. Word of what happened at Proxima Station spread quickly through the ship. Jack found himself the subject of many conversations that stopped when he entered a room. Dr. Zixvora spent hours writing detailed reports about Jack's exposure and recovery. That night, alone in his quarters, Jack sent a message back to Earth, to the Human Liaison Office. He described what had happened and asked if there were any other documented cases of humans surviving Viridian gas exposure. The answer would change everything, but Jack didn't know that yet. He just knew that something unusual had happened, and for the first time since joining the distant horizon, he felt truly alien. 2 weeks after the Proxima Station incident, Jack received a reply from Earth. The Human Liaison Office had shared his report with several scientific teams. Their message was simple. There were no other recorded cases of humans surviving direct exposure to Viridian gas. Jack was the first. This news spread quickly through the distant horizon. Jack noticed the alien crew treated him differently now. Some watched him with open curiosity. Others seemed almost nervous around him. Dr. Zixvora had requested additional medical tests, which Jack agreed to. He was as curious as everyone else about why he had survived. Captain Rel called Jack to the bridge one morning. When he arrived, he found the captain speaking with a holographic projection of a high-ranking Confederation official. "Ah, here he is now," Captain Rel said. "Human Jack, this is Council Representative Thos. She wishes to speak with you." The hologram showed a tall, elegant alien with silvery skin and 4 arms like the Thraxi, but with a more humanoid face. She wore elaborate robes with glowing symbols. "Greetings, Jack Miller of Earth," she said in a melodious voice. "Your experience at Proxima Station has caused quite a stir within the Confederation scientific community," Jack nodded politely. "I'm still not sure why I survived when others wouldn't have." "That is precisely what we wish to understand," said Representative Thos. "The Council has approved a special research mission. The distant horizon is being redirected to Kelturus Prime, a jungle world with one of our premier biological research facilities. We would like you to participate in some controlled studies there." Jack hesitated. "What kind of studies?" "Nothing harmful," she assured him. "We wish to better understand human physiology and how it differs from other species. This knowledge could benefit everyone, including Earth." After the call ended, Captain Rel explained more. "Kelturus Prime is known for its biodiversity. The research facility there studies various life forms and their adaptations. They believe your ability to process toxins might have important medical applications." "So I'm going to be a lab rat?" Jack asked with a slight smile. The captain's 4 eyes blinked in confusion. "I am not familiar with this term. Sorry, Earth expression. It means someone used for experiments." "Ah, no, not exactly. You would be a research partner. All tests would require your consent." Jack thought about it. His original mission had been to serve as a cultural ambassador to help aliens understand humans better. This seemed like an important part of that job. "All right," he said. "I'll do it." The distant horizon changed course for Kelturus Prime. The journey would take 8 days. During that time, Jack noticed more changes in how the crew interacted with him. The Kelbian engineers, especially Zik, whose life Jack had saved, sought him out to share meals and ask questions about Earth. Even Krell, the usually serious security officer, showed interest in human combat training. Dr. Zixvora spent hours with Jack, reviewing the results of the additional tests. "Your cellular structure has unusual properties," the doctor explained, showing Jack microscopic images on a screen. "Your cells appear to have additional protection against toxic substances, and your liver... quite remarkable." "Is that good or bad?" Jack asked. "Good, very good," Dr. Zixvora said. "It explains much about human resilience, but it raises many questions too. Was this always part of human biology, or did it develop recently? Is it common to all humans or unique to you?" "That's what we'll find out on Kelturus, I guess," Jack said. As they approached the jungle planet, Jack received a Surprise? A second human had been sent to join the research team. Her name was Linda Peterson, a biologist from Arizona. She arrived on a small transport ship that docked with the distant horizon in orbit around Caltrus Prime. Jack was excited to see another human after months among aliens. He waited at the airlock as Linda came aboard. She was tall with short, brown hair and a friendly smile. "Jack Miller?" she said, extending her hand. "I've heard a lot about you. The human who survived Viridian gas." Jack shook her hand. "That's me. Though I'm still not sure why it's such a big deal," Linda laughed. "Not a big deal? The Confederation Council doesn't redirect starships for small deals. You've become quite famous back home, too." This surprised Jack. "Really? I had no idea." "Oh yes. Scientists are very interested in your case. It might help us understand why humans seem to tolerate conditions that are harmful to other species." The next day, Jack, Linda, Dr. Zixvora, and a team from the ship traveled down to the research facility on Caltrus Prime. The planet was beautiful, covered in lush purple and blue vegetation unlike anything on Earth. The air was thick and humid, filled with strange, sweet scents. The research facility was a large complex of white buildings nestled in a cleared area of jungle. They were greeted by the facility director, a tall insect-like alien named Dr. Zell. "Welcome to Caltrus Prime," Dr. Zell said, his mandibles clicking as he spoke. "We are honored to have you here, especially you, Human Jack. Your resistance to Viridian gas is most intriguing." The facility was impressive, with advanced laboratories and research areas. Dr. Zell showed them around, explaining the work done there. They studied the unique plants and animals of Caltrus, many of which had unusual biological properties. "This planet has some of the most diverse biochemistry in the known galaxy," Dr. Zell explained. "Many medical treatments originated from compounds discovered here." Their tour ended at a secure laboratory where the tests would take place. Various equipment and monitoring devices were set up, along with sealed containers of different substances. "We will begin tomorrow," Dr. Zell said. "Today, please rest and acclimate to our environment." That evening, Jack and Linda walked through the facility's botanical garden. It was filled with strange plants from many worlds, carefully maintained in different climate zones. "So, you're from Arizona?" Jack asked as they walked. "Yes, I studied desert adaptations before joining the exchange program," Linda explained. "How plants and animals survive harsh conditions. That's why they sent me here when they heard about you." "You think my tolerance for toxins is like a desert adaptation?" Linda considered this. "Maybe. Earth has many challenging environments. Humans have lived in all of them, adapting to extreme heat, cold, high altitudes, even pollution in modern times. Maybe that's given us certain advantages." As they rounded a corner in the garden, they came upon a section filled with exotic flowering plants. One particularly beautiful specimen had long, vine-like stems with glowing blue flowers. "That's amazing," Jack said, stepping closer to look. Suddenly, something struck his forearm. A creature similar to a snake, but with multiple eye stalks and prismatic scales, had launched itself from the plant. It hung from Jack's arm, fangs deeply embedded in his flesh. "Hold still," shouted Linda, recognizing the creature immediately from their briefing. "That's a Caltarian viper. Their venom causes neural collapse." Dr. Zixvora, who had been following at a distance, rushed over with a medical scanner already humming. "We need emergency extraction. The toxin works quickly." Jack looked down at the creature still attached to his arm. With his free hand, he carefully detached it, holding it by what appeared to be its neck. "Interesting little guy," he said, studying it with curiosity rather than panic. "Put it down and lie flat," Dr. Zixvora commanded. "The antivenom must be administered within minutes." "It's okay," Jack said calmly. "Same thing happened last week in the botanical garden. Different snake, but probably similar venom." The medical team froze in collective shock. "You were bitten by a venomous creature last week?" Dr. Zixvora's voice rose several octaves. "And you didn't report to medical?" Jack shrugged, finally setting the creature down gently in the underbrush. "Didn't seem necessary." Got a headache. Took a nap, felt fine after. Linda stared at him. Jack, the briefing said that venom is fatal to 98% of known sentient species. Really? Jack examined the puncture wounds on his arm with mild interest. Well, maybe we should head back. Anyway, getting kinda hungry. Dr. Zixvora's medical scanner continued to beep alarmingly, but Jack's vital signs remained stubbornly stable. The bite from the Caltarian viper should have caused immediate paralysis followed by neural shutdown. Instead, Jack stood there looking, slightly bored and hungry. "This is extraordinary," Dr. Zell said, mandibles clicking rapidly. "We must get him to the medical bay immediately." "I really don't feel that bad," Jack protested as they rushed him through the facility. "Just a little. Tingling in my arm." In the medical bay, a team of alien scientists gathered around Jack. They took blood samples, scanned his arm, and monitored his neural activity. Linda stayed nearby, taking notes and asking questions. "The venom is present in his bloodstream," one scientist reported, "but it appears to be breaking down rapidly. His immune response is unlike anything in our database." Another added, Dr. Zixvora, who had seen Jack survive Viridian gas, was less surprised than the others. "I believe we are witnessing a fundamental difference in human physiology. Not just, in Jack, but potentially in all humans," Linda nodded. "That matches my research. Humans have evolved on a planet with thousands of toxic plants, venomous animals, and variable environmental conditions. We've developed broad-spectrum resistance to many types of toxins." "But to this degree?" Dr. Zell asked. "The Caltarian viper. Venom disrupts neural pathways in every species we've studied." "Maybe not in humans," Linda suggested. "Our nervous system might be structured differently or have redundancies that other species lack." Jack, still sitting on the examination table, raised his hand. "Can I say something?" The scientists stopped their discussion and turned to him. "Back on Earth, I worked as a paramedic in Montana. That's a place with mountains and forest," Jack explained. "We had rattlesnakes there, venomous ones. I got bit once during a rescue operation. It hurt like hell, and my arm swelled up for days, but with antivenom treatment, I was fine." "You've been envenomated before?" Dr. Zell asked with astonishment. "Yeah, and I'm not unique. Thousands of people get snake bites every year on Earth. Most survive with proper treatment. Some even without it." The scientists exchanged looks of amazement. What had seemed like an exceptional ability in Jack was apparently common among humans. Over the next week, Jack and Linda participated in a series of carefully controlled tests. The research team exposed small samples of their blood to various toxins and monitored the results. They compared human tissue samples with those from other species. They analyzed the structure of human cells and the composition of human liver enzymes. A pattern emerged. Humans had evolved a remarkable range of defenses against harmful substances. Their livers could process toxins that would overwhelm other species. Their cell membranes had unique properties that provided additional protection. Their immune systems could recognize and neutralize a wide variety of threats. "It's not that we're immune to everything," Linda explained during a presentation to the research team. "We can absolutely be poisoned or envenomated. But the threshold is much higher for humans, and our recovery capabilities are enhanced compared to many species." "This explains much about your planet's history," Dr. Zell said. "Your species has consumed plants and fungi that would kill others. You've survived in environments with toxic gases and radiation. You've even deliberately ingested substances like alcohol and caffeine that would be poisonous to many." News of the findings spread quickly through the Confederation. More scientists arrived at Keltras Prime. Jack and Linda were joined by other human volunteers from the exchange program. Every new test confirmed what was becoming clear. Humans, as a species, had evolved on what the Confederation classified as a death world, a planet with environmental conditions so challenging that it produced extraordinarily resilient life forms. 3 months after Jack's first encounter with Viridian gas, a special conference was convened on Keltras Prime. Representatives from 27 Confederation species gathered to hear the research results. Jack sat in the front row beside Linda and Dr. Zixvora, who had become his friend through all their shared experiences. Admiral Trell, a senior Confederation official, addressed the assembly. The tall, gray-skinned alien spoke in measured tones. The research conducted here has profound implications for our understanding of human biology and for future cooperation between our species, the Admiral said. Humans possess physiological resilience that exceeds our previous models. This is neither good nor bad. It is simply a difference, one that evolved from their planetary conditions. The Admiral continued, based on these findings, the Confederation has revised its classification of Earth. It is now designated as a Class 3 high-stress environment. Humans are reclassified as Class A Deathworlders, a term that recognizes their evolutionary adaptation to challenging conditions. Jack leaned over to Linda. Deathworlders? That sounds pretty dramatic, she smiled. It's just their way of categorizing species. Actually, it's a compliment. After the conference, new protocols were established for human participation in Confederation activities. Special safety guidelines were developed for multi-species environments. Human crew members received additional training about their unique biology and its implications when working with other species, but there were advantages too. Humans were now sought after for missions to environments that were challenging for other species. Their natural resilience made them valuable team members in emergency situations. Exchange programs expanded, with more humans joining Confederation vessels and more aliens visiting Earth. 1 year after his first assignment to the distant horizon, Jack returned to the ship as its official human liaison officer. The crew welcomed him back warmly, especially Dr. Zixvora. It is good to have you back, Jack, the blue-skinned doctor said. The ship has not been the same without you. Good to be back, Doc, Jack replied with a smile. Any interesting missions planned? Actually, yes. We have been assigned to explore a newly discovered planet with unusual atmospheric conditions. Most species would find it challenging, but for a human, let me guess, I'll just get a headache and need a nap afterward. Dr. Zixvora made the clicking sound that Jack now recognized as laughter. Precisely. Though I will still insist on proper medical protocols. Wouldn't have it any other way, Jack said, that evening. Jack stood at the same viewing port where his journey had begun a year earlier. Earth was not visible from this part of space, but he thought about his home planet with new appreciation. The challenging world that had shaped humanity had prepared them well for the greater challenges of the galaxy. A message arrived on his datapad. It was from Linda, who had stayed on Kelturus Prime to continue her research. She had attached an image of a new specimen they had discovered, a plant with remarkable medicinal properties that might help treat neural diseases in several species. Jack smiled as he read her message. Another day, another deadly thing that might just save lives. Very human of us, don't you think? He thought about how far he had come from his simple life as a paramedic in Montana. He had never considered himself special or particularly resilient. He had just done what humans always did, adapt, survive, and keep going. As the distant horizon prepared to jump to its next destination, Jack felt a sense of purpose. Humans had much to offer the Confederation, not despite their challenging origins, but because of them. What had seemed ordinary to him, the ability to bounce back from injury, to resist toxins, to adapt to harsh conditions, was extraordinary in the greater context of the galaxy. And perhaps that was humanity's greatest strength, finding ways to turn adversity into advantage, to transform the challenges of a death world into the resilience needed for a life among the stars.